Oh, for a yard sale. For Yisker, yeah.
So, I feel like most
Yeah.
of the
Hey,
people I
Walter.
get
It is so nice to see you.
You too.
but like Rosh Hashanah.
Oh, shopping festival. How's the summer?
Good, and in fact, I'm gonna take my sister down to Kensington tomorrow. We're gonna go
Will
fishing.
you be there?
No, she's in a wheelchair. She can walk a little bit, but so, Laura, that's on my warrant, Allegheny Forest. No, she lives in Coneyville. Well, in an apartment on her son's property, his business, because they're all up in Wisconsin. And the kids aren't coming home till next week, and they're hauling their big trailer down to Tucson to sell it to my other nephew.
But he would run it.
Don't ask.
Because he really wanted to.
But anyway, I thought I'll take my sister fishing tomorrow.
It's a nice thing.
Yeah.
It's for a Jewish shark.
Huh?
Does she have any?
Hi, Joe.
Yeah, but all her grandchildren and her son and his wife are traveling right now. So and the two guys that work for Eddie
It's like my favorite song.
are working, but I'm the only family beside her nephew and kids. Heading down to your old neck of the woods tomorrow. Kinson. We're gonna go fishing. I'm gonna take my sister. Got my poles ready. I gotta stop and get some bait.
I used to be before the
I just use worms, or I got some spinners, you know.
No.
She's not going, just me and my sister.
I like fishing, but no.
She's in a wheelchair, so I gotta have some accessible space.
I don't really, but like I'm usually
It's okay. Where'd you go? Alice Diana, yellow. Oh, wait a minute, it is, yeah.
but then I was like,
So is my great nephew's farm.
I was gonna say, she was, I forgot to ask us to sing about holidays.
Okay, that's true. I do. I just kept it up.
Just like the whole thing.
Interview go on with the new space. She is. Yeah, I can't change
No, because someone called me from Spain. Well, except for what Rabbi does, like,
Well,
Hey, go to Garden.
You're almost at the.
One ten-minute conversation, totally out of context, and you have no idea what it is, and all I heard was today I'm a tiger, I have no idea.
So if you cover that up, you see one. And there's no glasses.
That's
You don't have a choice, right? You need to get you like a bunch of loan. Candle. Shabbat Shalom. Let's turn together to page 2 and join as we light our Shabbat candles. That's the temple is the temple of Jesus. Easy. And we want to welcome our trio. You've heard of the three tenors. Well, here are the three Jews.
Okay, we're on page 10 for Hine Matov. Hine Matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manayim shevet achim
continue to welcome Shabbat into our hearts and our lives, we turn together to page 20 as we join in Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Penei Shabbat, Mekabela. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Penei Shabbat, Mekabela. Shamor v'zachor v'dibor echad, Ishiyanu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad, u'shmo echad, l'shem u'tiferet v'bitila. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Penei Shabbat, Mekabela. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Penei Shabbat, Mekabela. Likrat Shabbat, lechu v'nelcha, ki mekor ha'berachah, me'rosh li'ed el Yesucha, sof maseh Shabbat tefila. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Penei Shabbat, Nekabela. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Penei Shabbat, Nekabela. Buri v'shalom, ateret bala, gam besimcha uv'tzola, toch emunei am segula, u'ichala, u'ichala. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Penei Shabbat, Nekabela. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Penei Shabbat, Nekabela.
Please be seated as we continue, page 22. Mizmor Shir LeYom HaShabbat, a psalm, a song for Shabbat.
Mizmor Shir Le'Yom HaShabbat, Tov Lehadon LaDonai, Uzamer Leshimcha Elyon, Uzamer Leshimcha Elyon. Boker Hasdecha, Ve'emunatecha Balelot, Alei Asor V'alei Navel, Alei Higayon Bechinor. Mizmor Shir Le'Yom HaShabbat, Tov Le'Adon LaDonai, Uzamer Leshimcha Elyon, Uzamer Leshimcha Elyon.
We continue on page 24 with words of welcome and blessings for peace for us all. Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon. HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi-melech, Malachei Amlakim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barhuni l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi-melech, Malachei Amlakim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seichem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi-melech, Malachei Amlakim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
So we turn together to page 26 and we rise for Chatzi Kaddish.
Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'yalma divrach yirotev yamlik malchutei.
V'chayechon uvyomechon
uv'hayedecho beit Yisrael. Bagala, bagala, uv'izman karim. V'yimaru, amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach, le'olam olam me'omaya, yitbarach. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpar v'yitroma v'yinaseh v'yithadar v'yithaleh v'yithala shemei d'kudisha
Barechu.
la'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nehemata namiram b'yalma v'yimaru amen.
Continuing on the following page with Baruch Hu, our call to worship, telling each other and God that we are ready to pray.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Vaed. Please be seated and let's join together in the middle of page 30. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. Page 33. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. All these things your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael.
Ahavat olam, bet Yisrael, amcha ahavta, amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, hukim u'mishpatim, otanu אותנו למדתה. כן אדוני אלוהינו בשוכבנו ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ומצוותיך לעולם ועד כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ובהם נגע יומם ולילה נגע יומם ולילה ואהבת אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל.
We rise together for Shema, page 34.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu,
Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Vaed.
I was going to sing for a second if you didn't catch that.
Please be seated, and we'll continue on page 36 with Va'ahavta.
Everyone good? ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ושוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם מאוד על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוציא אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אדוני אלוהיכם אמן.
Page 39. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth.
May heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love.
From bondage in Egypt, we were delivered. At Sinai, we bound ourselves to your way.
Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces.
Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed.
Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea.
We continue with Mi Chamocha, our song of freedom, on page 40.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot, o Elianu v'amru Adonai yimlok le'olam va'ed. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot, o sefela, Nora tehilot, o sefela, Adonai yimlok le'olam va'ed. I was totally not going to sing the chorus.
ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגלו מיד חזק ממנו. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. Page 43. Let's join together at the top of the page. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up, waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim.
Baruch atah Adonai haporei sukat shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim ve'al kol amo ve'al Yerushalayim shalom. Baruch atah Adonai haporei sukat shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael.
We are a people in whom the past endures, in whom the present is inconceivable without moments gone by. The Exodus lasted a moment enduring forever. What happened once upon a time happens all the time. And we are so thankful for the blessings of Shabbat, and so we join in Vishamru, page 44.
Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorot berit olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorot berit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam, oti le'olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorot berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim v'et ha'aretz. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorot berit olam. Uvayom hashvi shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha
We turn together to page 46 as we rise for Amidah. Pray as if everything depended on God. Act as if everything depended on you. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufiagit tehilatecha. Adonai, open our lips, that our mouths may declare your praise.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, ve'Elohei avoteinu v'imotzeinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor, v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Hasdei Avot V'yemot, U'mevi Gula Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shema Be'ahava, Melech Oziro U'Moshia U'Mageh. Baruch atah Adonai, Magid Avraham, Be'ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh Hakol atah Rav Lahoshia, Morid Ha'atzah. Mechalkel Hayim Bechesed, Mechayeh Hakol Berachamim Rabim. Somek noflim verofei cholim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato, lishenei afar, michamocha bagevurot, umidol melach, melech memit umechayeh, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman atah l'chayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh, Shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yam yahu lecha selah, Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
Please be seated as we continue, top of page 53. Days pass and the years vanish, and we walk sightless among miracles. God, fill our eyes with seeing and our minds with knowing. Let there be moments when your presence, like lightning, illumines the darkness in which we walk. Help us to see, wherever we gaze, that the bush burns unconsumed, and we, clay touched by God, will reach out for holiness and exclaim in wonder, how filled with awe is this place, and we did not know it. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. Let's join together, top of page 55. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Page 57. Ratzei Adonai Eloheinu ba'amcha Yisrael. Ever-present one, may we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer. Wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion restored, in all lands, you are our God, whom alone we serve in reverence. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha b'yirah na'avod. Page 59. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us, so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth, which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shemcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Adom lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech Adom lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam.
We take a few moments, leaving aside the text of our tradition and looking inward to the prayers in our own hearts and minds. And so we take a few moments for silent prayer.
Say shalom bimromav, say shalom aleinu, ve'yakol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Say shalom, say shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'yakol Yisrael. Say shalom, say shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael.
We turn together to page 253. And there we find our prayer for healing. And we ask God's healing for all those in our world who need it, whether it's a healing of body or soul or mind or heart. And in our congregation, we especially mention James Chavez, Etta Howell, Irv Willis, Ella Kobos, Carol Ford, Wendy Sherman, Diane Kaler, Isabella Bostwick, April Wortman, Eric Skabetta, Michael Shervetsky, Rabbi Brad Bliefeld, Stephanie Willis, Carol Lou Eisenhart, and Doug Botner. If you're joining us via live stream and you would like to add a name, please add the name into our chat. If you are here in person and would like to add a name, please, as I look around, do so. We join together.
Avotenu, Mekor habracha.
If I could ask your help in handing these out, it would be great. Thank you so much. This week we celebrated what sort of has come to be called the orphan of Jewish holidays, meaning that it is the least celebrated holiday in the calendar. And I don't know why, because it is really one of the most beautiful holidays and certainly an important one. Perhaps it is at the end of the school year, and so it's after Sunday school programs adjourn, and so that may be part of it. Part of it is it just is at the beginning of summer and sort of gets lost in that shuffle. I don't know. But Shavuot is, one of the most important holidays in that it is on Shavuot that we reenact the moment of becoming the Jewish people. Right? 49 days ago, we leave Egypt. We leave the slavery of Egypt. But why do we have to leave? We only leave Egypt so that we can arrive at Mount Sinai 49 days later and enter into this sacred relationship with God. There's no purpose of the freedom of independence if not to become who we are. And so, as our tradition has come to teach us, this holiday of Shavuot is one in which we reenact the moment of Sinai. We reenact that moment of God giving us the Torah, of entering into this unbelievably, sometimes complicated, sometimes wonderful, sometimes difficult relationship and covenant with God. And over the years, we have celebrated Shavuot differently. Shavuot was one of the 3 pilgrimage festivals. So in the ancient world, this is one of the 3 times where you would make your way up to the temple and offer sacrifices. In modern times, Shavuot has come to embrace the idea of study. That if this was the moment that God gave the Torah to the Jewish people, then that is our obligation and our opportunity for study. And so there is a concept known as Tikkun Leil Shavuot, an evening of Shavuot in which you study all night long. So next year we're going to start at sundown and we're going, right? We'll have a temple sleepover. You'll all bring your pajamas. We'll have popcorn. It's a thing. Okay. And one of the other traditions is that there is a Megillah, just as there is a Megillah for Purim, which is the book of Esther, right? The Megillah that we have for Shavuot is the book of Ruth, Megillat Ruth, the book of Ruth. And so I thought that this evening we would spend some time doing a little text study and jumping into some of these meanings and really wonderful story that is in the book of Ruth. First of all, what's unique about the book is, number one, it is one of the few books that has mostly a female cast. Right? That's the first thing, that the main characters in the story are all women. So that's, enormous in the biblical text. Number one. Number two, it's about people. It's not about big miracles that God does, splitting the sea or creating floods or building towers or any of that. This is about people. And it's a very human story. It's a very powerful story that talks about relationship. And the relationship that exists between a mother and her daughters-in-law. So, taking a look right at the beginning. In the days when the chieftains ruled, there was a famine in the land. A man from Bethlehem in Judah and his wife and 2 sons went to reside in the country of Moab. The man's name was Elimelech, and the name of his wife was Naomi. And his two sons were Machlon and Chilion, Ephratites of Bethlehem. In other words, they were part of the Ephraim community. And they lived in Bethlehem in the area known as Judah. They came to the country of Moab and remained there. Elimelech, Naomi's husband, died. She was left with her two sons. So right off, Naomi, we're 3 verses in and we've hit tragedy. Okay? What does it mean in the ancient world when when a woman's husband died? Well, okay, so several contingencies fall into place, but she needs to secure herself another series of supports, right? That's the basic line. And in this case, she's sort of by herself. There isn't another support system for her. She has to sort of figure it out on her own. Okay, she has these two sons, and they married Moabite women, which means they married outside of the Israelite community. One named Orpah, and the other is Ruth. And they lived there about 10 years, which means she's living as an independent person. Naomi's living as an independent widow for 10 years. She's figured this out. Remarkable, unheard of in the ancient world, that she would be able to do this. And it doesn't tell us how. And it doesn't say that she became a farmer or she sewed or she did anything. We don't know. We don't know what she did, but she managed to do it. And here she is. Then these two, Machlon and Chilion, also died. So now she's lost her husband, she's been a widow for 10 years, and she's now lost 2 of her children. There are only 2 children. So the woman, Naomi, was left without her two sons and without her husband. So she makes a decision. She says, look, I can't stay here. There's nothing for us here. So she started out with her daughters-in-law to return from the country of Moab. For in the country of Moab, she had heard that God had taken note of the people of Israel and given them food. Accompanied by her 2 daughters-in-law, she left the place where she had been living, and they set out on the road back to the land of Judah. So she figures, I don't know what to do, but there's nothing for us here. The only thing I can think of is to go back to where I came from, which really was the only possibility, really, for an unmarried woman in the ancient world, was to return to her family's care, so that her parents, if they were still alive, or extended family, would then take her in and care for her. But Naomi said to her 2 daughters-in-law, turn back, each of you to your mother's house. So she's telling them, look, I'm going back, but I don't know what I'm going to find there. You have to also go back to your parents' place. May God deal kindly with you as you have dealt with the dead and with me. You've been so good to me, I can't ask you to come with me. I can't ask you to do and not have any kind of sense of what we're going to find when we get there. May God grant that each of you find security in the house of a husband. She's essentially giving them that permission, right? That permission to go and find a new life, to start their lives over. Remember, they're probably, younger women at this point. They could still marry and have children and a new life. And she kissed them farewell, and they broke into weeping. So clearly there's this amazing relationship that exists between Naomi and her two daughters-in-law. And she said to her, "No, we will return with you to your people." But Naomi replied, "Turn back, my daughters. Why should you go with me? Have I any more sons in my body who might be husbands for you?" Right. You're laughing. Does your partner have a brother? Yes? All right, so in the ancient Jewish world, if a man died without having a child, it was his brother's obligation to marry his widow. Janice is like, not going to happen. we won't tell him. And in fact, it's even more complicated because his job was to provide children, and the first child that would be would appear would be a child that would be considered to have been the deceased brother's child, which has major implications in terms of inheritance. Okay, that's what it's really about. It's really about the inheritance. And so let's say older brother dies, younger brother marries widow, and they have a child. Well, if older brother dies, younger brother inherits the fortune, or the estate. If younger brother marries widow and has a child, who inherits the estate? The child. Right? So it has major implications in terms of inheritance. Yes? Then no.
What if the second child's a boy?
Then yes. It's first boy. Yeah, it's first male. Yeah, it's first male. Right. So it has major implications. This whole process, which is called chalitza, is still practiced in some degree, or not in the very ultra-Orthodox community, except that in almost all cases, there's a ritual in which the wife can release her brother-in-law from his obligation. It's a quaint little ceremony, probably the most fun ceremony in Jewish life. He sits in a chair, she spits in his face, takes off her shoe, and throws it at him. Maybe. It depends on whether she likes the brother-in-law or not. No. It says this is in the ancient world, so she can become a second wife. Yeah. In fact, if you ever go to Toronto, I encourage you all to go to the Bata Shoe Museum. And in the Bata Shoe Museum is a chalitza shoe, a special ritual shoe that is reserved only for this ceremony of release and throwing the shoe at the poor brother. See what you learn when you come to temple. Okay. What she's saying here is, I don't have any way of providing you with another husband, right? There's nothing I can do for you. Go back, so turn back, my daughters, for I am too old to be married. So for me, the ship has sailed, right? Ships have sailed, I am too old. Even if I thought there was hope for me, even if I were married tonight and bore sons, should you wait for them to grow up? Like you're going to wait 20 years before, it's not going to happen. Should you, on their account, Debar yourselves from marriage, right? Should you wait all this time? No, of course not. No, my daughters. My lot is far more bitter than yours, for God's hand has struck out against me. They broke into weeping again, and Orpah kissed her mother-in-law farewell, but Ruth clung to her. So Orpah says, okay, I hear you. I'm going home. I love you. Goodbye. But Ruth sticks around. Ruth says, Naomi says to Ruth, see, your sister-in-law has returned to her people and her gods. Go, follow your sister-in-law. Go. But Ruth replied, do not urge me to leave you, to turn back and not follow you. And here's the, beautiful, very famous line. For wherever you go, I will go. Wherever you lodge, I will lodge. Your people shall be my people, and your God, my God. And where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried. Thus and more may God do to me if anything but death parts me from you. So Ruth is saying, I am in this family. You are my mom. You are my adopted mother, and I am with you. And when Naomi saw how determined she was to go with her, she ceased to argue with her. And the two went on until they reached Bethlehem. When they arrived in Bethlehem, the whole city buzzed with excitement over them. The woman said, can this be this other woman sort of on the road, unnamed woman, again, says, can this be Naomi? So suddenly she's recognized, right? So we know, at least in the text, that she has some connection still, right? She's recognized, there's some there. And what does she say? You can't call me Naomi anymore. I'm not that person. I've been changed. I've been embittered. Call me Mara. My life has been embittered. I don't feel I'm that same wide-eyed, fun Naomi that left so many years ago. My life is different. I'm a different person.
Is Mara a new name or like a middle name?
Mara just means, well, it's like bitterness. Yeah. So she's taking that on. She's embittered. Yeah. Yeah. What?
She said, like Maror. She said, like Maror.
Right. So Amar is bitter. Maror is a bitter, like a thing, a bitter thing. Yeah. Okay. So we can go on, but really the text is this wonderful story of connection, right? The story of Ruth saying, no. I know it's not going to be easy. I know it's not going to be, simple, but I'm with you. I am connected to you, and so we're gonna do this together. And so they return, and they eventually she gets married again. But there's this great text in the sense of the parallel between the people of Israel entering into the covenant with God at Mount Sinai and Ruth abiding and sticking with her mother-in-law, right? That sense of loyalty, that sense of commitment. And so that's why this text has been chosen, because it's that text that we say as a group, right? This is who we are. And even when times are tough, this is still who we are. So, questions, comments? What do you think? Yeah, it's a great story. It's a great story. So, with that, part of Shavuot is a sense of memory. And so we, at moments of memory, we turn to words of Yizkor, or remembrance. So as we turn ourselves first to Aleinu on page 282, and we'll rise.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'tet gedula yotzei breshit, shelo asanu v'gayot haratzot, velo samanu mivechot ha'adama, shelo sam chalkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtakavim u'modim, lifnei melech, malkei hamlakim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, shehu notei shamayim ve'yosed haaretz, u'moshe yikarov b'shamayim ima, u'shchinatu zo, begov meromim, Hu Eloheinu Eino, Emet Malkeinu Efesulato, Kagatu Betorato, Vedata Hayom Behashevota Elevavecha, Ki Adonai Hu HaElohim, Bashamayim Ima, Ve'al Haaretz, Mitachat Einot, V'neimar, V'haya Adonai, Lemelech HaKol Haaretz, Bayom hahu, Yeh Adonai Echad, U'shemo Echad.
Please be seated. Yizkor is a time to remember. And so we take some moments to remember all those that we have loved and lost as we experience our memorial slideshow, seeing pictures of those who have come before us. Some of them we know, some of them we remember from years gone. They are the faces of our community, the faces of our temple family who have built the synagogue in their day just as we build it in ours. And so we are thankful to them as we remember them now. with the memories of all that we have loved. We take them into our hearts. They are an abiding blessing. And on this Shabbat, we are in the period of Shloshim for Carol Zachs, and we observe Yartzeit for Jacob Levi, Walter Strauss, Felice Weil, Henrietta Herskovitz, Aaron Simon, Saul Kaler, Harry Silver, Joseph Grossman, Nathan Klein, Emmanuel Cohen, Fred Gashi, Jacob Berliner, Irene Rudolph, Leon Stein, Ethel Levick, Bertha Schuster, Zelda Rittenberg, Pacer, Sarah Jacques Schuster, Samuel Rabinowitz, Ruth Hanauer Zachs, and Herbert Brandwine. If you are joining us via live stream and you would like to add a name, please add the name into our chat. If you are here in person and would like to share a name, please do so as I look around. We turn together to page 294 as we rise for words of Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, ba'alma divrach ruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, b'chayechon u'v'yamechon u'v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'gala v'zman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevorach la'alam u'lalmeh almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dikudsha b'rikvu, la'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, damiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Please be seated, and I'd like to invite Craig forward to share some announcements.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. And thank you, Rabbi. And thank you, Chris, Lyrica, and Ali. Thank you very much. Services this evening are in memory of Saul Kaler. Okay, going to start off the announcements with a little bit of a quiz. What is next Friday? What kicks off next Friday? Nah, come on. You can do better than that. All the mailings you've been getting for the past months. What is next Friday? Yes, thank you. The kickoff of the 150th anniversary. So next Friday, the 21st. You've read it about in your emails, your temple topics. It's coming up. And then it's going to be, that's the start of a busy weekend. That Sunday, we have an open house here at the temple. Sunday, June 23rd. That open house is from 2 to 4 p.m. There's more details in all of those emailings, and RSVPs are appreciated for that event. And then a few days later is our annual meeting on Tuesday evening, June 25th at 6:30 p.m. We need you to be there. We need your votes. We need your attention. We need a quorum. So please be there Tuesday. Then, the weekend after that, we will have services in Chautauqua on Friday the 28th and on Saturday the 29th. So there's no services at the temple that weekend. And there is a link in the weekly email to RSVP, and there's also more information there. And then one more item to mention.
And
that,
wait, back up.
Oh, back
So
up?
as part of that, we'll
Oh, yes.
we'll
Okay.
have Shabbat services at Chautauqua from 5 to, they tell me 5:55. I have to end at 5:55. Because what happens at 6 o'clock, Walter? What happens at 6 o'clock on Friday?
The bell.
Yes, last year, for those of you who weren't there, we had this massive storm coming through, and so Jesse and I sort of did the Reader's Digest version of services. It was quite amusing. Quite amusing. Anyway, but just to highlight, so we'll be having services there, and then we will go back to the Goldman's home, which is right around the corner, for a great deli Shabbat from Wegmans, and a great opportunity to celebrate Shabbat and have time to socialize and schmooze and whatever. So hope you'll join us for that, but we do need to know if you're coming, because otherwise I don't know to tell Wegmans to make food. So please RSVP for that. In terms of next Friday should be an amazing service. We have the string quartet from Erie Philharmonic coming. We have Rabbi Rick Jacobs, who is the president of the Union for Reform Judaism, coming. And, I spent some time with Rabbi Jacobs this week on the phone, and really should be a great opportunity to hear firsthand from the leader of the URJ, the largest Jewish movement in the world, really. Yes, he is a phenomenal speaker. He is a phenomenal speaker, and a treat for us to have him. And so we're thrilled to welcome him, and I'm sure we'll have a great opportunity to learn and to enjoy. So please come.
Okay, one more item. June 29th and 30th, Pride Erie is taking place. Temple's going to be participating in that event, and if you're interested in volunteering, please call the Temple office. Shabbat Shalom. Oh, one more? Okay.
Today was the last day, if you wanted to put a greeting in the book that we're developing for the 150th. Today was the last day, but I will just say that if you still forgot, if you still would like to do it, if you go online this weekend, I don't think that we will forget it.
Very good. Okay. So we are concluding with
Ellie.
okay, Eli,
Yeah.
on page
349.
349.
Oh, Julie's coming with
Oh, Julie, we're bringing in a ringer. You can use this mic.
I love this song for when we're at the beach, but also I always feel like it's so beautiful for Yizkor too. I don't know. It's very pretty.
Written by a woman named Hannah Senish, who was a paratrooper during the war. She lived in what was then British Palestine, parachuted behind enemy lines, was captured, tortured, and did not give up any information, and eventually killed, but she left behind her poetry, which was set to music many years later.
Eli, Eli, shelo yigamer leolam, hachol v'hayam, rishru shel hamayim, berak hashamayim, tefilat adam, hachol v'hayam, rishru shel hamayim, berak hashamayim, tefilat adam. O God, my God, I pray that these things never end. The sand and the sea, the rush of the waters, the crash of the heavens, the prayer of the heart, the sand and the sea, the rush of the waters, the crash of the heavens, the prayer of the heart.
Following our final blessings, please join us for a little refreshments and oneg and time to schmooze together. And thank you, Ali, and thank you, Chris and Lyrica, for leading a wonderful, wonderful Shabbat. And so let's join together in thanking God for Shabbat and all the things that we enjoy with Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon inchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom tehillah lamikra'e kodesh zecher l'tziat mitzrayim ki banu v'harta ve'otanu kidashta mikol hamim ve'shabbat kodesh be'ahava uvratzon inchaltanu baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. Amen. Motzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Woo! What an ending. There we go. Shabbat shalom.